some more exercise on Learn You Note. But let's take a break first from Learn You Note. Nanti you pening kepala kan. So we will do the second topic, right? The second part of our main stack. Ya, bolehlah buat folder 2 week tu terus, right? The second part of from our main stack, which is Express. So while I'm looking for the slide, as per Walid's suggestion, you can create a module 2 folder. Okay, done. Have a quick look at the name. Alright, have a quick look at the slide. We will start with the lecture first, only for a while. I'm not sure how many times you saw this. Alright, so what is a REST API? Alright, so it's basically whatever that you saw on module 1 or module 3, whatever that you saw on module 1 or module 3, which is you have a data, right? You have a database and everything. What is a database? Database is all the information that you need to store. So for example, movies, right? You have information about movies. This remind you of the OMDB exercises, right? OMDB exercises, they are information about movies, about the actors, the genres, and then you have the directors and everything. All this data is stored inside a database. Right. What is a database? Database, you can imagine it as an Excel sheet. Right? You can imagine it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's an Excel sheet. Right? It's almost like an Excel sheet. There is a table, there is a column, there is a row, and then you put all the information. For example, registration information, or movies information, or actors information, right? And then somebody need to access that database. Right? For example, app. You are creating an app. You are getting an information from the database that's stored in the cloud. But the problem here is, how do you connect to the database, right? If you remember last time, right, when we did the OMDB exercise, we use OMDB API, right? We use this, right? This is what we call, this is actually an API, right? It's application programming interface. So the data that you have on your database, all right? API, or API, we try to get it, all right, and then it will return it to you in this form. This form is what we call a JSON form. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Why is it called JavaScript Object Notation? Because you have seen in JavaScript, all right, whenever there is a curly bracket, it's an object. Right, so that's why it's called JavaScript Object Notation, because it will be returned with a curly bracket. What does it mean by RESTful? Representation state. Representational state something. Representational state transfer. Right. So this is what RESTful is. It's just okay, I will answer your second question first, because this is one way, right? This is one way of getting an API. If there any type of API apart from RESTful, yes, but it is the other part of API that I know is called, for example, WSDL SOAP. All right, so dia punya soalan tu advanced a little bit. All right, so other than API, other than getting it like this, or other than getting it like this, there is another way. Right, another way to getting it is by using one of which is quite popular as well, which is called SOAP and WSDL. All right, this one, all right, is very popular in bank, right? In bank, in old system, right? Before REST API, right? Before REST API, most of the old system is using. So to answer to your question, yes, there is another type of API apart from RESTful, which is called WSDL. And this one is not as much used as RESTful, not as much is being used by RESTful. But if you're working with legacy project means old project, bank, Astro, right? These are all what I call TM, right? All this this is what we call an old project that is being used until today. Most probably is going to be on on this format, right? But I'm not going to go in detail into this. I'm going to not to teach you this, since Wali asked, I answer lah, right? Since Wali asked, I answer. So to answer your questions now, the first two, back on that. So RESTful stands for representational state transfer. If I'm not mistaken, all right, there is a notion of state and everything when we talk about RESTful, right? Dia macam you ask, you get, you ask, you get, you ask, you get. That's what the represent state. That's what state means. You ask, you get right away. You ask, you get right away. So that's why representational state means that you ask, you get right away. You ask, you get right away. So because WSDL also almost like that, but ada perbezaan lah, right? Ada perbezaan a little bit. Okay. So itu masuk je ni ya. Tapi dia one of the criteria is the state transfer. I also tak tahu sangat, bukanlah I tak tahu sangat in detail. I read it like 10 years ago, and then I never worry about the theory and everything, but it's actually the notion of state. You ask, you get. You ask, you get. You ask, you get. Where so what is question? Tapi yang tadi, your second question, same thing as Git. Same thing as well as Git. No, but you never asked me, right? Is there anything other than Git? Yes, there is other thing other than Git as well, right? That thing is called SVN, right? If you ask me, dia ada lah, right? RESTful is the objective is the same, the objective. So the video and start in browser there. Wait, I change my name. Okay, so let me try. Okay, tadi I was on my normal Wi-Fi. Alright. So in the end, the objective SVN or gate is the same, right? In case somebody asks you, right? Have you heard about anything else than that? The idea is to back up your code. The idea is to back up your code, but the way is different. All right, so this is like the old style, Git old style, GitHub old style, right? Teach you about GitHub old style, is to back up your code, but the way is different, but the objective is the same. Same thing as well as WSDL and RESTful. The objective is to get data from your database, and then from your database you get it in your application, be it a web or app application, but the way is a little bit different, right? Some of it, RESTful is an improved version of WSDL, right? Okay, so that's a little bit about API just now. Let me see back if there is something that is important. I will back and forth. I will back and forth code and API, code API, code API. We will start by doing this first. Right, we will start by doing this first. Since you have done, all right, I hope you have done, I hope you have done the exercise that I gave on DataCamp last time, all right? So if you have done exercise on DataCamp, I think you should, try to practice as much as possible, CD, ls and everything, right? And then go directly into your week module 2 folder. All right, go to your module 2 folder. Inside your module 2 folder, create a new directory, which is called week 2. So how to do that? mkdir week 2. All right, so this is something that you have seen on DataCamp. So that's why I asked you to do DataCamp, so that, mkdir means make directory, right? Create a new directory, create a new folder, all right? cd week 2, what does DataCamp tell you? cd mean change directory, go inside week 2 folder. ls mean list, but on Windows you change ls to dir, all right? So in Windows, all right, ls is dir. And then if you go cd dot dot, all right, this is DataCamp. cd dot dot means go one folder back. Go one folder back. ls, all right, now I'm on this folder and I go back in. You can always use kalau you pening, you still pening. You can always use the window, all right? But as much as possible, nanti somewhere on week 6 or week 7, you're going to do Linux, or you're going to do Linux, a lot of command. Yes, so ls you replace with dir. Ls you replace with dir. Dir is for Windows. There, I just say ls you replace with dir. For Windows, ls is dir. For me, dir is not found because I'm on Mac. But for you guys, dir is ls. ls is the one that you learn on DataCamp, right? It's called dir for Windows. Too bad. Last time I asked, right? Last time I asked Faiz, Walid, who knows Prince of Persia? Not this one, not this one. It's the Prince of Persia, the first part, not this one, not this one. Who knows Prince of Persia? The original one. This one, the one. Walid dah try dah main?
Dulu lah, masa di Game Boy.
So it's actually is a game lah, right? It's a game, all right. That okay, all right. Right. What I'm telling you, Prince of Persia, as you can see, is actually for DOS. All right, DOS. So DOS is actually before the Windows and everything. So I have my first computer around 3 or 4 years old, and this is the first game that we play, right? So how it works, right? When we open computer, 4 tahun kan, 4 tahun. Tu apa, this game is 1989. I think I played this 4 5 years old. So 4 5 tahun. So in order for me to open this game, right? In order for me to open this game, all right, I have to put in the diskette, all right? Not the small one, not the small diskette. Is the big the big diskette. And well, not this one, all right? It's the big one, old floppy drive. This one is this one. So I can't remember lah. Yang ini one this how many RAM, how many dia punya memory how many. But I remember Prince of Persia you have to put 2 diskette. So you put in, all right, and then indoors there is no Windows. So as a 4 or 5 years old, I have to know all this. All right, I have to know all this. I have to do okay, buka ni. I have to go open sebab the diskette is actually on B. So I have to type lah, right? B something. All right, I have to type that. And then I have to check, okay, dah masuk belum dir, right? I have to do all that, right? I make sure that I'm inside the folder. I have to, kalau bukan, I have to make sure that I do CD something. 4 5 tahun I already have to know this because there is no window at that time. All right, and then I have to masuk folder. I have to go to CD prints or something, CD prints. And then I have to run the prints punya file lah, prints.exe. Alright, so this is how to run it. This is similar to what you did last week.
Stop.
Okay, suddenly, I don't know, maybe I typed something just now, right? Maybe I typed something. Oh, right. Okay, so that's the story. So as a 4 or 5 years old, because of no interface, we have to do all that, right? Then I know lah, and everything, right? So that's what I said. Very unfortunate, right? As some of you can, when you open Windows already there, well, some of you might reach almost the same as me as well. But last time when I had my first game and my first knee, that's how you used to do it using DOS. And then my mom bring me to the office, and sometimes my mom tak ada babysitter, I think 5 or 6 years old, that's where I discovered the first Windows. And at that time, the Windows is Windows. Who can guess my first Windows? Version apa?
97.
Belum, tak ada 97. My first Windows is 3.1. Alright, it's not even Windows with me. Windows 3.1. I think in 1992. 19 lah. That around 6, 7 years old lah. Around 6, 7 years old. Then my mom bring me to office. That's where like, wow, ni lah dapat Windows. So the office dekat office kan, I see a lot of PC and everything, and everything that was like my impression lah. Oh, bestnya Windows yang ada PC yang ada Windows. Of course lah waktu tu Minesweeper and everything. But this is the way.
So guna PC yang tak ada Windows ke?
Memanglah sebelum ni pakai tak ada Windows lah, pakai DOS lah. Nak main game Prince of Persia. At that time my favorite game Prince of Persia is my favorite lah, right? I'm not sure I already told you guys. You guys can try if you guys ni. But you have one rules lah, right? You have one rules. You have to play like how I play, which means that jangan tengok YouTube, alright? So that's how we play. Kerja sekarang dah ada walkthrough semua, so you know the time where there is no walkthrough and everything. So you tengok ya. So this game I mula main 4-5 tahun. I finish it when I was in Form 4. So macam mana kan? Because the beauty of this game, I don't know you pernah main ke tak? If you never retro game, right? So check, I'll share with you guys. The beauty of the game is you only have 1 hour to finish it. So jadi masa kita start mula-mula kan, so once we start the game just now, right? You nampak kan dia ada time ni, right? Dia ada time. Dulu walk through web internet semua tak ada. Maybe because I was playing Prince of Persia kot, sebab tu tadi jadi. Dia nampak ni dia tulis ni 60 minute left. So overall 13 level, alright, 13 level. So if you start, then you have to start back from level 1. So you can only have 1 hour. Kalau you tak tahu apa-apa, you cari, you mati. The time keep going down. So once is 0, then habislah, you start back at level 1. Masa tu save semua tak ada lah. Alright, so I challenge you. For those who never play it, I challenge you to play it. This is like my favorite game of all time. Even lagi tinggi daripada Final Fantasy lah. Even though I think I like this more than Final Fantasy. Even if I ask you ask me to play now, even I know already. I think I did last year. Last year kan macam boring dengan PKP. I main balik game ni. Still tak habis juga sejam. Alright, sebab lah dia adalah yang hujung-hujung tu I lupa. Mana ni atas ke turun bawah, ni atas ke turun bawah. Still tak habis juga sejam. Syok dia mula balik level 1. Alright, yeah. So this one I play 4 tahun. Form 4 baru I graduate this game. Tapi dengan syarat kan, because masa Form 4 pun internet tak ada, YouTube, walkthrough semua tak ada lagi. When I was in Form 4, YouTube, walkthrough, internet tak ada. So we talk to our friend lah, macam mana kau lepas benda ni? What should I do after this? Then my friend said, actually kan, after this you have to do this. Itu barulah, then you kena main balik sampai level 12. Yang paling susah level 12 lah. Sampai level 12, that's where I start for 5-6 years. How to pass level 12? How to pass level 12? Tapi dengan syarat you jangan Google, jangan YouTube, jangan don't go to walkthrough. Alright, play by yourself. Tapi dia adalah Prince of Persia 2 and everything, things to start to come in and everything, but for me it's never be as good as the first one. Itu cerita tadi lah, right? That's the story, alright. So that's the story. Last time I think like orang-orang budak-budak yang umur macam saya, they know all this. That's the point. DIR, CD dot the basic one. Dulu ada DIR. I think you can try DIRW, DIRP. I think P is one of it is you stop, and then one of it you stop a while. One of it changed to the view. This are actually coming from DOS last time. Itu cerita dia. And then just now I was talking about Windows 3.1. So Windows 3.1, my mom give me 6, 7 years old, kita pergi office. At this time, ada 2 game yang best lah. Prince of Persia 2, alright, Prince of Persia 2, but it's never be as good as the first one. And then ada game. This is where all the Aladdin. This is where I pergi office mak I. Aladdin PC game. This one also I think on Game Boy and everything. Aladdin PC game. I think it comes out around lah. Aladdin, Lion King, and this semua game dulu lah. Right, Lion King PC and everything. So then Form 3, Darjah 3. Darjah 3 then my dad give buy our own PC. That's where I discover Windows. Ni I think Form 3 Form 3 95 because saya UPS 98. So Darjah 3 lah, Darjah 3 Darjah 4. Maybe Darjah 4 lah, Darjah 4 because I remember that is afternoon. Afternoon, maksudnya saya sekolah pagi kan. Kita orang dah jam 4.15 ke kelas pagi. So and then I remember that in one afternoon, my dad bring me back this Windows 95. This is I think the base lah, right? The Windows that you see today paling dekat ni 95 lah, right? Paling dekat. I think this is the first time that Windows that you see looks like that. Saya tak screen I dari tadi lagi I tunjuk. I dah tunjuk semua Aladdin semua I tunjuk ni. Game Aladdin, game Lion King, semua I tunjuk tadi. But Windows, whatever that you saw today is actually this is the base. This is the first one that it looks like that. Kalau 3.1, it does not look like that. With 3.1 ni dia benda yang lain.
Yang MS-DOS tu memang literally macam terminal.
Memang terminal lah. You buka-buka dia hitam macam tu. You buka-buka PC, you memang hitam je.
Seguna dari zaman tu lah.
Dari zaman tu lah. Waktu tu memang belajar Microsoft Word tak ada. So kita belajar Word Perfect. Mana dia sedihnya. Kita belajar hari tu Word Perfect. Ni sebelum Word Perfect, Lotus 123 ni macam Excel. Alright, Word Perfect ni macam those. I think that's the two thing. Tu untuk menjawab soalan tadi. Untuk menjawab soalan ni, what year was it? 4-5 tahun. 4-5 tahun. So 4-5 tahun 89. So imagine 4-5 tahun dah kena belajar DOS. Bukanlah you want to open the game, right? You have to use DOS. And there is this one game that sekarang ni bodoh je. Golden Axe. This is one of the DOS game. Dia game bodoh je, but I think like siapa ada game ni dia memang ni lah, dia memang power lah. 1989 nanti around 4-5 years old. Okay, that's something. Alright, some of you were not even born yet at that time. But that's the history of my journey from computer. So dulu ni semua ni kan, imagine I have to do Excel tu, imagine kita buka je lah. Everything we have to open here, WP if I'm not mistaken. You buka, ni atas, you want to do worksheet. Hari tu masa saya belajar ni, buat macam account syarikat. At that time ada drama TV3. Ni kan buat macam maklumat semua. So that's last time. I'm sure that I'm going off the road, alright. But what I want to tell you, dulu I have to know all this lah for me to open my first game. That's the Frogger. If you heard, this is an old game, Frogger and everything. Frogger. These are all the games that we have to. In order for us to play this, we have to go through all this. Itulah terpaksa lah. I think I know it by ni. Had I think for example my brother dia lahir 90, alright. Dia lahir 90. So by the time he's 4-5 years old, that's where we get the Windows. So my brother will not know all this, right? My brother will not know all this. And then my sister was like 4 years earlier. But at that time we don't have a computer yet, alright. We only have computer like this. So my sister also I don't think she remember it. So I think it's just a perfect time. My brother dia tak tahu pun command line. My brother he do not know all this because by the time and then you come out Nintendo, Sega, sorry, buka lampu. So So all the Nintendo, Sega start to come in, right? So then Nintendo, Sega cucuk je cartridge kan. I think it was perfect timing, I would say, right? Perfect timing. Betul lah, zaman komputer besar-besar lah, zaman komputer besar-besar. Dulu masa kalau pergi, but when masa iPhone ni, ini memang very old tau. So how do you know? How do you know if you are old enough like me or not? Is by the diskette. Kan, biasanya orang, normally people know this diskette, but a lot of people dia tak tahu yang ini. Yang ini memang familiar lah, right? This is the 1.44 megabyte punya, 1.44 megabyte. Tapi yang ini, dia ada yang diskette besar ni, floppy disk yang besar. Dia bukan yang kecil tau, yang besar ni. Yang besar ni dia even before the 1.44 one. So before 1.44, you have this. Then only CD start to come in. After CD, then is DVD. Alright, then you, itu masa saya pergi kat France, masa DVD semua tu masa kat France, right? Before I go back to France, I make sure that semua benda-benda I masukkan dalam DVD, right, and then bring it there. So that's before all the USB and everything. So itulah cerita dia, right? Cerita dia. Macam Prince of Persia tu, right? I need 2 diskette sebab tak cukup kan? Sama juga kalau you ingat kan, siapa yang who like to watch movie kan, we watch movie, right? We watch movie, and then there is a moment where everyone watch on CD. After CD, then people watch on DVD, right? After DVD, then Blu-ray and everything. But if you remember, for those who watch on CD, you have half of the CD is CD1, and then half of the thing is CD2, right? Okay, dah okay, sambung. Open CD2. I think same thing as well with games, right? For those who manage. Final Fantasy, that's one of the computer game on CD that I played. Yeah, masuk dulu, and then I think pusing, and then you have to put CD2. Last time also, imagine this diskette, I put tak tahu berapa banyak games like Prince of Persia. It needs 2 diskette for it to run. You masuk, you play it, and then open, buka, masuk disk 2, and then only it started. Betul lah, red alert tu and everything kan. So siapa red alert? Now ni, I'm telling you lah, because some of you might not experience this before. So you know lah who knows lah, siapa tua, siapa muda, you know by this story lah. And then the good thing is, last time I tell this on name, right? On name, because Prince of Persia, the source code is available online. Alright, so this guy decide to, this is the source code of Prince of Persia. This is the source code of Jordan Mercenary. I think the name is Jordan Mercenary. Jordan Mechner, right? Jordan Mechner. So dia buat game, he do the game and everything, right? So he decided to put the source code online. Alright, he decided to put the source code. Macam kita letak kat Git kan, we put our source code online so people can see it. So he also decided to put the source code online. So you have the entire source code games, the source code of the games inside. You can download it, you can see. And if you know how to read the source code, if you know how to modify the source code and everything, kan, you can create a lot of things you can do. You can create your own level and everything. But I think I already asked Faiz and Walid just now, what is the programming language that is used to create this game? So I think Walid jumpa hari tu. This game is actually written in what we call assembly language. Assembly language. So this is the entire game. Actually, I tak tahu lah you tahu ke tak. Right? Actually, it's very powerful tau. For the entire game to be written is assembly language. Right? It's not even it's not Unity ke, it's not HTML5 and everything. What does it mean as assembly language? You tahu kan? All your PC is actually a chip, right? All your PC is actually microprocessor, chip and everything, right? Microprocessor. So kalau all of these are all your computer is consists of this, right? Consists of this. So what Prince of Persia do, it write directly. Assembly means it's actually a microcontroller and microprocessor language, right? It really tell you, all right, put this inside this memory, put this inside this memory, put this inside this memory. Last time when in university I have to learn all this lah, right? Computer architecture and everything, I have to learn it. Dia memang actually from your whatever that you program, right? Whatever that you program on JavaScript or on C++, JavaScript, no? Let's say that you do on C++, right? You want to create a software. You write it on C++, on Java, or you want to create an app, right? You write it on Flutter and everything. That language, in the end, will be translated into this, and then in the end, it is translated into this, right? So what you write is your C++ language. From your C++ language, it's written into assembly language. From the assembly language, it is translated into 10111. So that's what we call a machine code. So ni apa? Tak silap compiler yang translate, compiler je compile jadi benda ni tak silap. I also tak ingat sangat in detail lah benda ni. I belajar tahun 1, tahun 2 kan. Either compiler tu tak silap saya dia buat benda ni, tak silap saya compiler dia buat benda ni, then it become this language. That's what whenever I tak tahu I just let you know. So before we really go into whatever that we are supposed to do, in case you are interested, ada cuti weekend or something, right? If in case you are interested to know more about computer architecture, all right, this will not be the thing that I'm going to cover with you, all right? Because this is not my specialty. I pun tak berani ajar benda ni, I tak tahu, right? The last time I see this, it was when I was for third year university, right? 2009, right? Third year university 2009. So if you are interested, right, I encourage you to go to the Google things that I gave last time, right? So last time I shared with you the Google, the Coursera, right? So inside Coursera, I shared with you 4 things, right? The first one is the Python. The second one is the UI UX. UI UX, I encourage everyone to do the UI UX thing. And then I think it's the IT support, right? Is the IT support on the first and the second chapter, right? On the first and the second chapter, it will cover that, or it will explain to you about computer structure, how from this language is go into assembly language and everything. So if at least 1 and 2 lah, at least 1 and 2, right? So if because this one you already know, right? This is the command line and everything. But if you're curious about all this, I reshared to you the link. Right? I reshared to you the link. Have a quick look. Have a quick look at chapter 1 and chapter 2. All right. Any questions about this? I know that I'm getting off topic. All right. I'm getting off topic just because I want to. Dulu budak-budak zaman dulu kena buat semua ni. But at the same time also I think we never do right history of computer, different type of programming language and everything. At least now you have an idea lah. Oh, actually from whatever that you're typing is transformed into assembler language. And for assembly language, it's transformed into the 010101. Then only the thing can operate. What makes Prince of Persia amazing is that there is no C++. I thought that when I was in university, I thought the language was C++, but no, it was actually written in assembly language. How about R language? R language is actually a data language. It's like well, R language. From what I heard, I tak pernah belajar tau R language, right? I never learn R language. Why I didn't learn it? Because I'm macam dah tahu Python, no need to buy no need to learn R language. No, it's not like Python, but it's like it's like SPSS. So SPSS ni pun kalau nak cerita pun sama juga. If I want to, kalau I nak cerita, my mum also actually encourage. I think a lot of things coming from my mum lah. Right? My mum also encourage me. Dulu lepas SPM kan, you have to go to, some people have to go to McDonald's, KFC and everything. But I work for my mum. Alright, so this is the language. Now you have Google Form, right? Now you have to take it. Now you have Google Form and everything. Right? Everything can be in. But last time there is no Google Form, right? There is no Google Form, so everything is you do the survey on paper and everything. And then that's my first job with my mom. We have to take it and we have to put the answer inside this. And then from there, because now you have Google Form, right? Everything with chat and everything. Then they use SPSS language to come up with all this chart, right? For data analysis. If I'm not mistaken, because I discussed it with one of the people who do statistics, R is actually a statistician language, right? So for those, they normally all the statistician, they are actually, before they use R, they use SPSS. All right. But once R comes in, SPSS I think is still used, right, in some place. Then once SPSS, the R is actually for statistician. It's not as difficult as Excel. Excel is actually a programmable language. If you are curious, if you are curious how it looks like, I never bother, so I don't want to comment that much. Because I never bother myself learning R, but since you already registered to the camp, you can just go here, right, introduction to R, and see how it looks like. Right? But from what I heard, it's actually for statistics. In my opinion, it's going to be easier. All right, but as a programmer, I actually would just ignore it, all right, and then just go directly to introduction to Python, because both of it, you can do data science and everything. Okay, any other question? Okay, okay, so that's about it. So that's about it. Okay, we create a new directory. All right, create a new directory. Create a new directory. I call it hello dash API. Hello dash API. At least we try to do one simple thing before.
Hello apa sir?
API world, but I think hello dash API. I rasa lagi make sense buat hello dash API lah. Start lagi ya? Okay tak?
Tadi okey, tiba-tiba baru ni macam dia stuck sikit.
What? I think let me open my Okay. Kalau dah sudah, if everything is done, you will create a new project which is called npm init. You type npm init. Make sure you're already inside the directory. Right? Make sure you're already inside directory. You type npm init. And then you press enter, 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 and then press OK.
Sampai dia ada package.json rasa.
Sampai dia ada, is this okay? Yes. Press OK. Nothing's come out. Apa? npm init ya? npm init. npm init. Okay lah, like that. But you are on week 2 folder. You're not supposed to do it on week 2 folder. You're supposed to do mkdir kan? mk hello-api cd hello-api. I'm not sure which one you miss and then only you do npm init. But from what I see from your PC, right, you're actually doing it inside week 2 folder. Kalau you terbuat, you buang, you do this, you can practice rm package.json, right? Remove package.json file, then only you do mkdir hello API and everything. From what I see, you terbuat dekat luar. Alright, the others okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay,
sir.
then using npm, install express package inside the project. Alright, using npm, install Alright, so using npm, install express package inside the project. So this is something that we have seen last time, right? Last time we see npm install -g, right? Because -g means generic. And then I explained, I cakap, -g means you want to install the entire, you want to install it inside the entire PC, alright? But now we only want it to be installed inside the folder. Then you will do npm install express. So I want to install express in this folder. Right, so npm install express.
Okay. Dia dah ada package log dengan node modules.
Betul kan? Once you have done that, npm ini betul. So once you have that, dia ada package JSON, package log.json, package.json, and node.module. So whatever file express that you download just now will be stored inside node modules folder. Betul correct Raj. Yang lain okay? The others okay? Daniel has been quiet sejak
Okay, sir.
Dulu dengan dulu dengan Faiz dengan Walid dia Joel, they also have been quiet. Kesavan also has been very quiet.
Cikgu, nampak sama macam PHP yang hari tu.
Yang mana?
Yang dia punya, saya terbaca slide advance sikit lah. Nampak macam sama sikit macam PHP.
Once you learn satu benda, bila you belajar satu benda, dia tak susah nak belajar benda lain. Alright, the important is for you to master one thing. This morning also saya pergi UMP. They said that they want to introduce saja. I said no, you just let the student focus on one language. Focus on one language. For example, in our case at night, we're going to focus on JavaScript. Alright, we're going to do from beginning until the end. Hari tu you buat PHP, you tak buat sampai authentication. Nanti ni kita akan buat sampai authentication, login, register, login, register, token and everything. Because normally once you know from start to the end, it's easy for you to learn other language. That's why normally also you remember the table that I shared with you, not on this slide, the table that I shared on the first week, right? That is very important. Let me cari balik the table. Yang the one that I have, okay, this is what you call in Python. This is what you call on Vue.js, right? This is what we call on PHP. You remember that table? Tak apa, you tak ada sekarang, tapi you might remember that table, right? Yang ada this column, Python, PHP, JavaScript, .NET, Java and everything. Why that table is important is because in case if you go to interview, some of you already started going to interview, if somebody asks you, actually some people ask me, sir, I got job interview on Laravel, because it turns out you find out that Laravel lagi banyak demand, or you get a framework on Django, right? You say you just go tiba-tiba you dapat. During the interview, jangan malu, jangan tipu lah, right? Jangan cakap, do you know Django? The answer should be, no, I don't know Django, alright? But I am currently using Node. You have to tengok balik, Django tu dia sama dengan apa? Django is actually, saya cakap Django ni dia sama dengan Express.js and Node.js. Based on my table, alright, Django ni dia sama dengan Express.js and Node.js. So you just answer lah, alright? No, at the moment, I don't know Django, but I am actually currently learning Java, learning how to build API using Node.js and Express.js, and I believe that it is almost the same as Django. Please give me 1 or 2 weeks so that I can learn about it and I can share a project with you, something like that. Alright, kalau orang cakap, that's what you do. That's why the table is very important. Kalau orang tanya, macam maybe Raj or Raj or Kesavan or something like that, because dia interview kan, do you know React.js? The interview come, do you know React.js? Tengok balik table tu, what is React.js? Alright, React.js is front-end framework. What front-end framework do I know? You check balik, oh no, I tak tahu, right? I tak tahu. Then you answer back, okay, based on the table, React.js ni dia macam is inside the same group as Vue.js and Angular. So you just answer, no, I don't know React.js, but I have done project with Vue.js. Here is my portfolio or something. Please give me another 1 or 2 weeks because I know that React.js and Vue.js is not that much different, right? I can learn it and then I can show to you your portfolio or something. Janganlah cakap tak boleh kan? Because I tell you because sometimes I ask student kan, dia sibuk cari kerja, and then bila I tanya balik, boleh buat Laravel tak? Tak boleh lah. Jangan tu, of course lah, tak boleh, tak apalah. You don't need, dia jawab macam tu kan, of course lah.
Just answer, you know something similar.
Kan, jangan, ataupun of course lah kan cakap, tak boleh tapi saya nak belajar. That one okay lah kan, but this one also is, boleh buat Laravel tak? Tak boleh. Can you do Laravel? No, I cannot do it. So don't answer like that, right? So if you want to answer, you just at least kan bila interviewer siap, right? Oh, budak ni tahu rupanya. Kalau you cakap, if you say something that does not make sense, the interviewer will know. Do you know how to create API? No, I don't know how to create API. I know how to do Vue.js. Dia tahu lah, it does not make sense because it's not on the same column and same row. Alright, you have to answer so that is actually on the same column and same row. So that's very important. Nanti, I'm not sure if you find it useful or not, right? Nanti because this is based on I can't remember what his name. One of the students previously, I think David or something. David as well. I can't remember which batch is it. David Crane, I think. His name is David. David Crane, yeah. David Crane is David, right? Siapa David ni?
It's me, sir.
It's you, right? So there's another David actually, or Daniel. Daniel, so I can't remember. Is your name as well, David something. So this is based David Quack. So this is the guy. So he's the guy who went for interview and dapat ya? Dapat. So in the end dapat. So that's the thing. So that's the thing. Jangan cakap tak tahu, because if I interview you also, you tell me you don't know, so tak tahulah. I also don't want to take. Right.
Betul. Nasib baik cikgu beritahu saya, kalau tak, oi.
You pergi kan, tak apa, apply lah kan Laravel semua kan. Nanti dia tanya, tahu ke buat Laravel? Cakap dia, oh tak. Saya buat sikit je, but actually I've done my full stack job, full stack training for 8 weeks, but we focus on Node.js and ni. Then nanti you will see everything will be the same.
Thank you sir, very useful.
Okay, dan the table is very useful, right? So nanti kan, before pergi interview kan, just check back your table. You check balik, I tahu I like Vue.js tapi tak ada job offer Vue.js, alright? What should I do? Alright, okay, I can do this. I like some of you might want to do mobile app, right? So I like Flutter, alright? But Flutter tak ada lah. But what else I can do? Right? Check balik. Okay, so I think I tak nak cakap lama dah. I want because it's almost waktu maghrib nanti lajak waktu maghrib. So I will just give you a task, alright? You will create a new file which is called index.js. So we do this index.js. Index.js. Alright, index.js will have this code. Right. Once you have this code, you test. I think it's almost similar to last week, but as you can see, Express make it simpler. Right. So once you have this, you run it. You run it. Okay. So this one I up to you. You want to do now or you want to do later or not? Pun boleh. Sekarang 7.40 lah. 7.40 kita buat 20 minit lah. 7.40 85 minit. Right, 85 minit. 25 minutes so that you balik-balik semayang makan semua. You just do this code and then test as well. Test as how we tested last week as well. Right, it's the same code as create server, but now you are building it using Express. Okay, any question?
Nope.
Okay, tak ada ya? Alright, so if there is no questions, if anything you can just PM me. Yelah, tak ada, kita banyak sangat off topic hari ni. But computer program, computer in general punya topics. We'll see you at 5, 8-5. Okay. All right. So I'm going to check. Thing. All right, inside hello.api, macam biasa, normally I will open a new folder first. I will open a new folder first. Then I create a new file. That file is called index.js. All right. And then I will get the code. All right. I will get the code from here. Okay. So var express equals to require express, var app equals to express, app.get, right, app.get function regress, function regress res.send hello world, and then app.listen to port 3000. Right, so that's code. How to try it, how to test it, I already teach you, right? Notebon, same thing, same thing as last week. Notebon index.js. Right. Oh, I have not saved it. I think I did not save it on the right file. Oh, I save it different way. Okay, try one more time. All right, so notebon index.js. All right, once I have it, how to test it, right? How to test it, I'm going to do localhost 8080/ap. Localhost 3030, localhost 3030. All right. So you get the same thing as what you did last week. All right. You get the same thing as what you did last week. If you remember, right, this is the create server stuff. Right, this is the create server stuff. You get it. But I'm not sure, right? I think it's more. You remember? I think Raj could ask. So is that regex and everything? Right? No, you need to worry about all that, right? I think it's slightly simpler, but you get the same results. I will add comment here, or I will add comment so that you some of you want to understand line by code by line kan. So that for the first time I will just put a comment. So import, all right, import express, all right. Why I import express? By default express is not there, all right. I said in Node.js kan, I want to use express, I want to use fs, I want to use http, all right. You have to have that line of code. This one I create an app server, all right. When user do /get, right, when user call /API from the browser, all right, I will return hello world text. All right, so that's what I mean. When user call /API from the browser, I will return hello world text, and then I will listen to port 3000. Okay, jadi kod je lah. I think the comment lah. Okay. Not more. No, you can only do not one hello API or not, or you can do not. All right, not hello.js. Run not. I think what you meant is npm run. Itu lain. I'm not sure where you saw it. You might saw it somewhere. npm run. Vue.js, I think, right? Vue.js. Jangan confuse. The run is, I think, it's for Node.js. Oh, you type run. Okay, then it works lah. All right, it works.
Soalan Raj tu untuk kiranya kalau buat run hello API tu sama dengan not non-index
Not index.js. npm run kot I think you buat ni. Not index.js. Tapi itulah jangan fikir lagi ya. So yeah. I think they kat no. So dia buat not dia, not index.js. Oh, dia work jugalah, right? But yeah, no need to worry because there's another one npm run, but this one ni. Okay, sekejap dia apa jadilah. Dia jadi. If it's okay, then it's okay. Okay, now we will add one more route. So if you remember, right, last week we do /about and everything, right? /about / ni kan. So I will do one more thing. So app.get, alright, app.get / right, same thing, function. I will do /hello, /hello. I will do function res, right, res dot send hello everyone. All right, hello everyone. So this is adding another path. So when, all right, when user calls /hello, all right, from the browser, I will return hello everyone. Okay, then you can try the /hello. Well, you will get hello everyone, right? So this is just creating another path. Yes, last week you do /about and everything again. I know. I hope you see it's easier than last week. I hope you see it's easier than last week.
Kiranya terus buat root dah settle, dah boleh macam tu je.
Macam tu lah. Ini untuk ni lah, benda-benda yang simple, right? Because the idea is to get this information from database. That one you do tomorrow lah. That one you will do tomorrow. So that's the idea. Tomorrow? I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's next week. Tomorrow we will do database, I think. Right? I think hari ni finish kot benda-benda ni. Tomorrow you will do MongoDB. Then only you connect. Sekarang E kan? Tomorrow M. Right? Then ni. Then baru ni.
Men kan? MERN.
MERN. MERN. R is hujung-hujung.
Jom.
But by right,
last sekali.
yang as I mentioned, you should be able to do MEVN already. Kan? Even if I don't teach you R, yang V tu you should be able to do it already. But R is actually the last one. Before prompt.
So Express ni dia language untuk back-end ke atau front-end both also?
Back-end. Express is for back-end. It's apa? If you talk about front-end, then it's React. Kan? It's React, Vue.js. Because how do you know if there is a word HTML, then it's front-end. If there is no word HTML in your code, then it's a back-end.
Okay, so just to check whether dia Express ni memang dia orang pakai untuk database.
Correct. It will be connected to database next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next week cuti ya? Next week your Friday class tak ada kan? 16 kan? Next week you ada 1/16. Correct, right? So next week. Tak apa. Next week 16. I pun baru teringat 16 tu ni. 16 tu public holiday. All right, I will do another one. I will call it app.get/goodbye/name, right? Yeah, double dot name. It means that I will call the function get /goodbye. I will pass name as parameter. What I'm going to do, right? What I'm going to do, right? Rest. I'm going to send goodbye plus name. Right. So when user call /goodbye from the browser and passes the name as parameter, all right, I will return goodbye and username. So how to test this? You buat macam ni, you do like this, localhost 300/goodbye/ for example Muzaffar, all right, then I will say name is not defined. Name is not defined. Goodbye name function rect. Sudah betul. Sorry, this one is rect.params.name. Rect.params.name. Okay. Ingat lupa, right? Ingat lupa. Okay. Actually, nota ni you tak payah copy from me, right? You should write what you understand. Alright, normally lah, right? You baca, you see, right? What you understand, you don't need to you don't need to print exactly like me. You don't need to write exactly like me. Just what you understand.
So dekat browser tu dia tunjuk cannot get. Yeah.
Betul tak? You dah buat macam ni dah, rect.params.name. Tadi I nak cepat, I lupa. Oh, actually it's like this. So request.parameters.name. So from the request, from the request, right? Get the parameter labeled with name. Name to it knows that, oh, actually it's the first one, right? Because I might have multiple parameter. Right? I might have multiple parameter.
Sir.
Yes.
So dot name tu adalah apa? Macam query lah.
Correct. Query datang dari sini. It came from here. Okay. After guna dot, use dot to declare the name. It comes from here.
Dia memang kena dot lah, tak ada lain lah.
Tak ada, mesti double dot. Alright. This language double dot. Lain language lain. Alright. But this, I know that it might be confusing, but this language is double dot. My other language might be another thing.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, kali apa? Vue.js double dot, right? Vue.js double dot. If you remember kan, Vue.js pun double dot. PHP curly bracket. Python I tak tahu. I tak belajar lagi Python punya. But actually there is no issue. Once I understand this, once I understand Laravel kan, once I understand Vue.js, actually for me to learn Python very easy lah. Right? I think for you guys, I'm not saying for me, for you guys also kan. Alright, is the concept of routing. What you are learning now is the concept of routing. If we really learn, kan, if I have, let's go back the basics of creating an API. All right, so we do it by topics. All right, I need to master how to create a server. All right, how to create a server. So this one you need to know lah. So how to create a server. Okay. What is the code to create a server? Is normally yang ini, right? Normally, if I say what is creating a server, is this one, all right? Is this one? This is code to create a server, and then from there it's creating routing, what we call routing. In routing, you have different things which is called methods, parameter, and body, right? And body. So whatever language that you're using, after this, maybe some of you might want to learn Python ke everything. Maybe even write some interview or Laravel or something. Just make sure that okay, at least you know. Right? I know this in the language. Right? Create a server, routing, and then only you think about accessing the database. Dia punya konsep tu is always the same. Macam cakap lah, tadi kalau I nak belajar Django, if I want to learn Django, I just need to figure out how to create a server in Django. How to create a route in Django. How to pass parameter, how to pass data in the base. Okay. Do you guys have Postman? Getpostman.com. I think those who are coming from batch 24 mungkin tak sempat, right? Maybe last time I think we missed some things. I need you to download Postman. I need you to download Postman. Getpostman.com/download. Get Postman download. This one, yeah. I need you to download Postman. All right, I need you to download Postman. You download, if it's on app, you download app lah. If it's if it's if not you change it to this is not my ni. All right, I'm downloading for 64-bit. All right, once you download Postman, what we're going to do is we're going to do this line of code. Right? Postman looks something like this. Postman looks something like this. When you start, I think they will ask you to register. Right? You just select skip register or something. And then you check on the right side, you should have like plus. I think this one is full. You should have overview, right? You should have overview like this. And then you have the plus button, right? So once you press the plus button, all right, you should have something like this. Okay, so just double check. Let's double check this. Give me 1 minute. I nak ambil something too much kejap. Okay. Yang ini okey tak for Postman? Okay, what I'm going to do now, right? What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do this. All right, app.post, right, slash bonjour, all right, so I teach you French. Function, all right, rest, all right, rest send bonjour, and then I plus rec dot body dot name. All right, slightly different. Right, slightly different than the previous one, right? There are two differences here. One is the word post, and then one is the word body here. So if I have to translate this, when user call slash bonjour from an app as a post, right, the word post there, I will show bonjour and the parameter and the request sent in the body. And this parameter I think can right, so it's slightly different, right? Slightly different than the previous one. I have two differences there. The first one is the word post. The second one is sent in the body. And then this one, you cannot test on browser, or you cannot test on the browser. You can test it elsewhere, but not in the browser. Right? So that's why I asked you to use Postman just now, because for this kind of API, we will test it in Postman. Okay, boleh cuba dulu. After this, I will go to Postman.
Cikgu.
Yes.
Oh, name tu apa cikgu? Request body name tu.
Ni body apa, data yang dihantar dari body, the data that will be sent through the body. Now you cannot imagine lah, but later when I show you how to test, you might be able to imagine it.
Oh. Okay.
Alright, it's parameter, but the way you send it is slightly different. Alright, how to test? You go to Postman. Alright, you will have this plus. Alright, you have this plus. Because I'm not going to pass from the URL. I will pass it in the body. I will not pass it from in this example. Not for post. In this example, I will pass the data through the body. So inside Postman, all right. So this is what we call the methods. Right, this is what we call a method. So you will change it to post, right? By default is get, you change this to post. After you change it to post, you put the URL just now. So localhost 300 slash bonjour. Right. Once you change this to post this to the URL, you go here and look for body, right? This is the body here, right? This is the body that you see here. Go to body, change this to raw, change this to JSON, right? Change it to raw, change it to JSON, and then you will pass name, right? This name is actually this one equals to Muzaffar or something, right? So once you have that, right? Once you have that, you press send. I cannot read property name of undefined rec dot body dot name. Okay, one more time. Yeah, press. Maybe I didn't save it properly. Press save. Cannot read property name of undefined rec dot body dot name. Yeah. What did I forget? Let me check the type. Takkanlah I forget. Betul lah kan? Okay. Betul lah, I think the code is correct. Rec.body.name, rec.body.name. Right, rest.send, bonjour, rec rest, rec.body. Wait a minute, yeah. What did I do wrong? So body, change this to raw. Right, change it to raw. This one is JSON. Alright, name. Wait a minute. Now I remember something. Tak apa. Don't do this first. Alright, don't do this first. Just do this. Now I remember something. Alright, just do bonjour first. Alright, and then you can just test it like this. Right, you can just test it like this. Sorry, my bad. I remember I need to do something. I need to do something, but actually, in order for me to do that, it's not today. It's tomorrow. Or it's tomorrow. Nanti you confused. I think today the objective is to understand the route first. Okay, so I take back my thing, but don't worry. Tomorrow I will show it to you.
Sir, kat Postman ni kiranya kita create apa dekat URL bonjour tu?
Kita create apa? Okay. So basically, right? Actually, I accidentally show it to you, so I should just stick to the slide, not show it to you. Okay. There are two ways for you to pass the parameter. Right? There are two ways for you to pass the parameter. Right? The information. Okay. So you imagine kan, all the page that you see, right? All the page that you see, normally, if there is a form, right? Buka Traveloka lah, my favorite website. If there is a form, this information need to be passed in a way from one page to another or from the page to the server. Okay, so let's say that, for example, I give this example, search hotel. We have been going through this how many times already. I press it, all right, I press it, and then you can see that the information is passed through the URL, correct? Yeah? So in a way, behind there is something that is like this. Okay, in a way, in behind there is something that is like this. So you clear, yeah, that one?
Oh.
Okay. However, there are some pages, yeah. The concept is whenever there is a form, you will pass it. Alright. Macam ni kan, kalau I nampak kan, so behind, alright, I can nampak lah, oh, budak ni, he's trying to look for this, he's trying to look for UE and everything, and the behind. So ini kalau ada hacker kan, let's say there's a hacker, actually you don't need to be a hacker. Normal, if you learn network, alright, if you're curious, I tak ajar ya, but not this is nothing hacking. This is nothing hacking. This is network. But I cannot teach. I cannot teach it lah, right? Because sorry. Ya Allah, apa dah namanya bracket tracer ni benda lain. No, it's not even hacking. It's actually network monitoring. Right, no, it's network monitoring. No, tak ingatlah namanya monitoring tu. Network monitoring tools. Apa nama dia? I learn it in university tapi I dah lupa because sekejap, kalau I Google I will get the name. Not Nagios I learn it. Ya Allah, nama benda tu. Sama masa I kerja kat Astro tu I pakai, but since too many information already,
Saya cari apa Sir?
network monitoring tu yang boleh tengok sniffer tools. Saya tak ingat nama dia apa. Packet trace, bukan, it's not packet tracer. Wireshark, alright. So Wireshark is like the most, alright. Wireshark is like the most basic that normally all university students will learn. Alright, I tak boleh nak ajar you lah, right? Because if not, we don't have time. But if you want, you can just go to any this, alright. You install Wireshark, you look, alright. So this is normally kan. Sometimes you get. Sometimes if you work in the office, they get, hey, what are you doing? You are surfing this any website or something, right? Because normally, right? In company we have right now, even if I'm operating I'm operating
Put it all on display with
cyber cafe or something, right? You come to my cyber cafe, you use my internet, I have the right to monitor all the thing that you do. So all the thing that you do, I have the right to monitor it because you use my service, right? Because I think it happened to us. We somebody come to our office, somebody come to our company, and then dia pergi DDoS one of the server, and then kita dapat amaran, right? So that's why in terms of we right, you are not supposed to do it. We are checking everything to make sure all this is part of networking, right? So I tahulah, right? I can read it from these tools, all right, that there is a PC in my network that are trying to access this website, and it's sending all this information. I can do it, all right? I can do it. So let's say that I do login, all right? Let's say that I do login. So you remember everything that has a form need one way to pass data, all right? One way to pass data is through the URL. So kalau I login, alright, I can't even remember what's the password already. Kan, kalau I login, right, if everything pass through the URL, which it means that I can easily pasang benda ni, alright, and I can easily see what is passed through the URL. Alright, so let's imagine over here kan, I will do a login function. And then this login function will have a username, all right? And then this login function will have an email, all right? And then once it's successful kan, I do my logic and everything. Bayangkan macam ni kan. And then rest.send, you are login. Right? By my they go to database, you are login. So in order for people to log in, right, using this way, they need to pass the username and email on the URL. Right? Dia macam ni lah. Which means that it can be easily dibaca or is easily read by whoever who have this software, and this is very common. Normally kalau you pergi you go to cyber cafe or something, it is common for them to pasang benda ni, not to hack you but to monitor. This is the network monitoring tools to monitor that nobody try to DDoS somebody, or nobody is, well, if you watch porn or something, that's lah. Tapi kalau kat office tak boleh lah, right? But if you go to cyber cafe, you watch porn, I don't think it's a problem. But I think it's more on if you're attacking, you are DDoSing somebody, right? Because if not, the owner of the premise will be blamed. All right. So that's why you cannot use the word get. All right. For everything that's related to login, you cannot use the word get. You need to use the word post. All right. When you pass the word post, the data will not be sent on the URL, but it will be slightly hidden. Right? You still, all right, these people can still see it under one condition. That condition is if there is no HTTPS. All right. If there is this HTTPS thing, or there is this apa ni kan, yang this log, then the people who have this kind of software cannot see it, because HTTPS mean all the data passed through the body will be encrypted. How to pass the data to the body is not for today, actually it's for tomorrow or after tomorrow or next week. Okay, clear? Clear kenapa kena buat post? You don't see it now. Actually, actually it's my fault lah, right? It's my fault because I show it now. But tomorrow I will show you again, because tomorrow it will be completed with the data that you pass. So for example, if you create if we create everything like username, password, if we pass the data, we normally pass it through the body from outside.
Kiranya sensitive data passed by body.
Correct. Normally sensitive data, registration data, everything we pass by body. Kalau mencari, okay, the rules is, that's why I said, the rules is when you are adding data that need to be added and sensitive data, you pass through body. When you are retrieving data, normally you pass through get, right, through the URL. That one we will go in detail tomorrow or next week.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I think I have one exercises. Sorry, I think we have one more things to do before I give you one big exercises, is to deploy this, all right? Because you're going to do it on a server. You are not going to be here, so I need you to do few things. Number one, if you are from batch 24, we have not done Git. I have not done Git with you. I need you to install Git SCM. All right, I have a second slide, which is this slide, right? Hari ni ada bagi dua slide kan? So which is this slide. So for this slide, I think this one. There is this thing. We are pretty much doing from page 12 onwards. We are pretty much doing the page onwards. So dia punya susunan lebih lain. Number 2 is I need you to go to heroku.com. I need you to register to Heroku. After you go through Heroku, I need you to install Heroku CLI. This is the URL. Look for the installer and install it. Alright, these three things. Alright, let's try to do it. 10 minutes ah. So siapa yang dah sudah boleh pergi minum-minum dulu. 9:10 we will continue 9:10 ah, 9:10. Okay, I need to go to keluar kejap, nanti I'll come back. Okay, sorry ya. Correct. Okay, so once you've done that, okay, you can close it. All right, close your browser. Right, I already installed, so I don't need to do it. Close your CMD and open it back. Close your CMD and open it back on the folder. Then you will do git -v. Banyak. Git -v. Right, you will do git -v. Git -version. All right, git -version. You should get a number. Git -version. You should get a number. All right. Then you do Heroku -version. You should get another number. All right. Once both is done, then which means that both of the tools are installed properly. All right. Git -version, Heroku -version. If both you get three numbers, if both you get numbers, then both is actually done. Okay, any problem with these two command line? Let me know if you have any problem with these two command line. Yes.
The Heroku, there's no number.
For Heroku, there's no number. Have you installed Heroku CLI? This one, yeah?
I've created the account. I need to download, is it?
Yeah, you download that one, then you restart back your CMD. There's
Okay.
number. Okay. Okay, got it. Once you have that, all right, you are going to do you are going to create a new file which is called proc file. Procfile. This is Heroku configuration file. So create a new file, call it proc file, which is Heroku configuration file. And then inside this proc file, you are going to add worker not index.js, right? Page 20, if you are on my slide, it's page 20. So worker not index.js. Okay, once you do that, page 21, all right, page 21, you have this thing in package.json, all right, in package.json, add on the following lines. So line 7, you do comma, start, double quote, node index.js. So both this is needed for you to link to Heroku. Later you will see right, what Heroku is, right? Later you will see what Heroku is. Okay, one more minute. I'm back. Okay, sorry, I'm preparing dinner at the same time. Alone today. Okay, bila dah sudah, alright, once you do this, alright, once you do this too, these are some of the command line that you need to remember. Alright, this is important git command. I will go in detail again at this when you do a module 3. You will start by setting this project with this command line, git init. I will type with you, actually it's very easy. Ikut aja, right? Git init. Alright, inside the folder, git init. And then git add dot. Alright, git add dot. Alright. After you do git add dot, for the first time of doing git, for those who just install git, for the very first time, you need to add this command, alright, git config minus global user, so called minus global user dot name. Alright, so this is for the very first time. You have to put your email here. So this is one. You have to put your name there. Your name. Right. It can be anything. And then you have to do git config minus global user.email, and then this you put your email lah. Alright. So that's for the very first time. After this, you don't need to do it anymore. After you do this, you will do git commit minus m first commit. Don't worry about it. I will copy this code and share it with you. And then you are going to do Heroku login. Once you type Heroku login, it will ask you to open a browser like this. Right? Open a browser. Right? Then you log in from the browser. Better lah, right? Okay, you can close this page and return to CLI. So once you see this, close the page, return to CLI. All right. Once you do that, you will do Heroku create, and then the name of your project. So for example, I put my name lah, One Moose, Hello API 2021, right? So this is creating a project, right? This is what you can do. You just put your name and then you just follow Hello API 2021. Then finally, you will do git push Heroku master. All right, so this is what we call the code to deploy my API to server. Right, something similar to your GitHub pages last time, right? If you remember, right? You did GitHub pages, you upload the thing. But unfortunately for API, for module 2, everything need to be done by command line, right? And then the place where you upload your code and then enable the GitHub pages, GitHub pages on Trigime, is called Heroku. Okay, I will let you do it after. I will let you do it after this. But if you want to check if it's okay or not, you will check the CMD. All right, check CMD. It's written there. All right, deploy. You will get a URL here. And then you will call it here. If you call it, you should get the first API. All right, the first API I think is hello, right? So you call the URL, you should get the first API. I think it's hello, right? It's the hello something is now. Hello world. Kenapa tak dapat? I should get it. Got it lah, right, she got it. Cikgu tak dapat, anak murid dapat.
Yang link tu dapat dekat yang URL tu dapat dekat terminal
Dapat dekat terminal, alright, you should get it at terminal.
Kalau dia tak keluar macam mana sir?
Kalau dia tak keluar, something is wrong. A step is missing. How if dia tak keluar, something is wrong. Macam saya lah, something I think is wrong. But surprisingly, right dapat, saya tak dapat.
Link Heroku CLI.
Sorry, link Heroku CLI ya?
Dia macam link dia panjang gila lah.
Itu tak apa, ambil je yang link panjang gila tu. Tak apa, ni, wait, it's still loading. Mine also is still loading. Wait, wait a minute. I think I might forget a step. Sorry, still have error. So let me try. I might have a step here. Okay, jap. Satu dulu. Let me try to figure out mine so that siapa yang dah dekat-dekat tu boleh ni. Oh shit, I forget or something. Okay. Sorry, I forget something. Let's do it here. I have to add var port equals to 3000 or process.env.port. I have to add this line of code actually. All right. After I add this line of code, I replace 3000 with port. All right. So I will learn to reset port. Sebab what does it mean? Because when we test locally, it's port 3000. Right. When we test on Heroku, this means that whatever port that Heroku give, whatever port that Heroku give. So you add this first. Yeah. If you have any problem later, we I will check one by one. And then once I add these two lines, right, line 6 and line 34, I will have to run this command line. So git add dot, right, to change the port, run this command line git commit -m fix something. And then git push Heroku master. Git add dot, where I'll save first, make sure that I save. Okay, git add dot, git commit, git push Heroku master. Okay, once you do that, once I've done that, then I test back the URL. I hope everything is okay now. Alright, I hope everything is okay now. Alamak, hari ni banyak pula problem. Still have error. So let's see. Still have error.
So, saya buat balik yang ini, yang add dengan commit tu. Lepas tu saya buat Heroku login, lepas tu buat git push Heroku master, dia cakap Heroku does not appear in this.
Sorry, Heroku does not
appear in does not appear to be a git repository.
dah buat dah Heroku create ni. Heroku create. This one ada?
Oh dah.
Kena buat ni
Yang tu lepas Heroku login
Yang itu lepas Heroku login. Mana Heroku. Ada problem. I know yang I mean problem ni, I know that line of code causing me problem, but I just want to see what's the process. Sorry. Let me do one thing. I rasa kena terbalik lah. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, jangan buat dulu. Biar I buat dulu. Baru you all buat lah. Biar I buat dulu. Baru I buat. That's a problem lah. Kadang-kadang I mengajar dari otak. Jangan lupa habis lah you all. Okay, sorry ya. Okay, got it. So you buat like 6 ni, sorry ya, I have to ni tukarkan dia, terbalikkan dia begini ya. Not just now I terbalik and I tertinggal one more bracket. Just now it was in reverse and I left one bracket. This is the or sign. So this is the thing. This one you double check that it's like this. Alright, so just do these two things first. And then once you are done, okay, everything actually it's a good thing lah we made a mistake, because when every time you fix your code, all right, you have to run these 3 command line: git add dot, git commit -m fix something, and then git push Heroku master. Okay, my side okay, which means that if you follow correctly, then it's okay lah, right? If you miss something, let's check one by one. Right, so you once you get, you tell, all right, /hello /goodbye, right? Okay, you know what, /hello, tak ada goodbye ya, /goodbye or something. Alright, just check back all the route that we created. I thought we have /goodbye /goodbye /Muzaffar. Okay, boleh cuba?
Cikgu boleh share screen tak?
Boleh? Boleh. Okay.
Okay, ni. Lepas tu saya dapat yang cerita ni cikgu kat sini.
Oh, git add dot, git commit, git push Heroku master. Tu you buat git push Heroku push master. Git push Heroku master.
Oh,
Git push Heroku master. Okay.
careless. Oh, okay.
Okay, alright. Anyone else need help? So right, there is a time if anyone need help. I think I'll be like non-stop showing from just now. Anyone else needs help? As long as you get the thing, I just double check back your URL /goodbye name /hello /. Okay, Raj got it. Okay. Yes.
Saya share screen lah.
Boleh. Okay.
Ini ke rasa? Ni yang ni.
Terbalik pros env.port tu kat depan ya. Dia and then baru 3000.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, ini betul lah kan?
Betul lah.
Ya. Lepas tu yang ni bila ubah just git add.
Correct. Git commit -m space put something double quote git push Heroku master.
Okay.
Okay, alright, boleh.
Sekejap. Lepas tu kalau git Heroku tu dia memang macam ni rasa.
Kalau Heroku kalau Heroku dia tak boleh try macam tu. Yang itu sebenarnya that one is actually for you to get your source code. The git Heroku tu actually for you to get your source code.
Oh, okay. Right.
Any other questions? Anyone want to try? Anyone want to check, double check? Now is the time. I nak berhenti kejap. But now is the time. Looking for ni.
Cikgu.
Yes.
Heroku kalau free tu sampai berapa banyak tu?
Heroku kalau free boleh buat sebanyak mungkin, but limit 5. After 5 you have to put your credit card, but it never charge me.
Oh.
But after 5 you have to put your credit card, but it never charge me unless if I beli database and everything, then they will charge me.
So 5 bukan dengan database lah.
Correct, 5 everything bukan dengan database. Tapi we will do database elsewhere tau. So our database will be elsewhere, not inside Heroku, it will be elsewhere.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Alright, actually it's good lah, right? I asked you to do data camp because actually Git is not just that. For what you need to know, right? So let's go line by line. All right, let's go line by line. So that I think, well, you copy paste, and then you. I think it's important as well for you to understand what line by line mean, right? Because this will be the command line that you need to put in your head. I trash apa? Tadi I ajar fresh kan. Kalau fresh jadi tu tampon. Nah, tampon tu you lekatkan dalam kepala. Right. Sebab masa cikgu I ajar tampon. Tu tampon. Dia cakap tu kan. Put it in your head, right? So this is the command line that you need to put it in your head. Tadi if you notice, right, macam si Walid kan, dia dah hafal lah. I know lah, we look you hafal because not that I'm puji him, but because he already did it since module 3. Alright, I'm talking for batch 24 lah. Batch 24, I think this might be the first time you saw this command line, but let's try to understand it line by line. This one means Git init. I'm going to use Git. What is Git? Git is a version management control. What is a version management control? It means that every time you change your code, all right, you save. But this save is different. It's just like for those who work with Microsoft Windows, right? Or sometimes my Google Doc also the same thing, right? We can always go to previous version, right? We can always go to previous version and yesterday my code works, but today suddenly it does not work anymore. What should I do? I just go back to yesterday's code. So that's what a version control is. All right, you find out that it's not working today, and then yesterday it was working. All right, let me check back what's yesterday's code. If you were like me, then if you just like doing for project, you tak nampak the thing. But for us, well, then you can see our source code. So although you don't understand, right? Our source code is very important because we work in a team and every day we add new codes. So for example, I can see and then we work in a team. So that's another thing of GitHub. I can see right, yesterday this guy he commit, which means he saved something. And then yesterday this guy he saved something. This guy he saved something. So let's say that suddenly yesterday it was working. All right. So I can always go back to this code. So I can see apa yang berubah, what's changed, right? The green means he's adding it. The red means he's deleting it. Oh, maybe because he add this, that's the reason it was not working. Right? So that's something. I can always check back with the previous code. All right. This is actually my GitHub. All right. Actually, this is my other GitHub. I think I made this joke before, but I will make this joke again later. Okay, so that's what it means. I'm going to use Git init means I'm not going to give you notes sebab I'm not going to type it. Bukan sebab I malas, sebab dia ada kat sini lah. Alright, sebab dia ada kat sini. Alright, I'm going to declare that this folder I want to use Git. Right, so that's Git init. Git add dot means I'm going to save everything in this folder. So this one is always I'm going to save everything in this folder. It's always the same code, right? Unless if you want to, tak nak lah file ni, I just want this file. I don't want this file, I just want this file. Then you're going to do git add and then the file name. But most of the time it's going to be git add dot, which means I'm going to track everything in this folder. This one is only for the first time. After this, no need to remember. Can delete already. If it's working, delete. No need to remember already. And then git commit -m. First commit means, all right, I save. I want to save. This is the save. Git commit -m means save. But what is this first commit? Just now I was showing my project, right? I see lah, right? Let me. I already closed my project. Macam ni kan? Macam ni kan? These are all the things, the process that we going through lah. I can see lah. Just now kan, when you put name, right? Oh, actually, it's this one. Oh, the guy Arif. Oh, this guy Hakim. Oh, the add something. The first commit, all right? The first commit that inside the git commit -m is actually this message. Right, then I know lah. Oh, hari ni he work on the placeholder. All right. Oh, yesterday he worked on the contact us form. All right, I know. Okay, contact us form is already done on 6 February. Oh, he Melayu lah, right? He put Melayu. Everything we put. Oh, he works on the email daftar yesterday. On the right. This one he worked something with the students. This one he worked with pra daftar or something. So that's the comment that I put it there. Sebab tu just now like fix something. Actually, I should put lah, right? Fix process.env because it was not working. So I should put it properly like that if I want to put it there. So that's what this comment mean. This is what this thing mean. I save, and this is the reference. This is what I'm doing it. And then let's go here. Let's go back to the next command line, which is Heroku login. Also, this is the first time, or your first time you use Heroku, right? Your first time you use Heroku. I have to log in first. Right? I have to log in first. Similar to this, but this one is for Heroku. After this, no need to do it anymore. Can delete, can forget and everything. Heroku create one was Hello API. It means that okay, I want to deploy my website. I want to deploy it. You imagine the API is just like your GitHub pages, but it's for Node.js. I want to deploy my website, and my website name or my server name, I want it to be OneMoose Hello API -2021. So whatever that you put here, it will affect what URL that you have here. So that's where it comes from, right? That's where it comes from. So I purposely do longer like that, but later, right? Next time, if you want to have your own, I want the API to be Hello World Places API. That places herokuapp.com. Git push Heroku master means upload to Heroku. Git push Heroku master means upload to Heroku. Kan yesterday, right? Normally you drag and drop, right? So this one's been upload. So once you are done, if everything is okay, the code will be deployed to Heroku. What is Heroku? Heroku is just like GitHub last time, but for Node.js. Right? But to build application, you can upload and you can see the result right away on GitHub pages. Right, the one that you did last time. You can only work with 3 files, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Other than that, Node.js and everything, you can use GitHub pages a bit more. You have to use Heroku. And then I think it's written there lah. If you want to go in detail, it's written there. The language that is supported and everything. Okay, before I ask you, do you have any question? I also would like to encourage you to do data camp. Quite easy, right? Not that hard. Data camp, not that hard. Everything. Some of you finish already. Just do the introduction to Git, all right? So try to understand everything, because whatever that I told you is just like one. It's not even 1 quarter. It's not even. It's just like 0.5% of whatever that Git can do. All right. It's more than that. You can see, I think batch 23, Faiz, Daniel, and Walid, they already work in group, right? They're collaborating. Git also allow you to collaborate, which means that David changed one line, and then Faiz work on the same line, and then Git will tell, hey, no, you have to take David code first, then only you can push, right? But that way you will not experience now. For batch 24, you will do it on your app punya module, right? How to work one project 4-5 person work on the same thing. But I encourage you to do this, right? I will not check. This is not module 1. Module 1, I check everything. This one is actually advanced module. Try to do as much extra things as possible, and then I think this one is something that you should do as well. Okay, any question? Anyone have problem with Git? Okay. Min stack project. Ni, the one. Introduction to Git. Introduction to Git. To understand more about Git lah, because I ajar from my mouth, right? So over there they have more information lah. Okay. I don't think you can do this on. I don't think that you can do this on 20 minutes. I don't think you can do it. Even like I said, okay, kita habis 10:30 also, I don't think you can do it within 30 minutes. So I'm not trying to be negative or something, but I don't think you can do it on 30 minutes. So what I suggest you to do is, I want you to have a look at timestamp API. All right, this is the first one. I want you to understand what it wants. All right, so I think the URL is there. It's okay. Once you have done, I want you to set up the project and set up the route. Only that. Then the rest you're going to continue tomorrow, right? So I recap what you need to do. So understand the problem statement. Understand, play around with the example. What it wants. Set up the project. Try to remember back these steps that we have done, and then set up the route. All right. Remaining is for tomorrow. All right. You can start first. I will give you 2 more minutes, but hari ni seorang kena mengacau ayam. I will come back and then we will see. Okay, all right. So I hope you have time to read while I'm kacauing my ayam. All right. So build a full stack JavaScript app that is functionality similar to this. All right. And I would like to remind you, by the end of this project, by the end of this project, which is tomorrow, this need to be deployed in Heroku as well, right? So try not to forget what we did. Tomorrow, you're going to deploy it in Heroku. Dia tulis ni, and deploy it to Heroku. I can pass a string as a parameter, and it will check to see whether that string contains either a Unix timestamp or a natural language timestamp. Natural language date means it might be January 1, 2016. If it does, it both the Unix timestamp and the natural language form of that date. If it does not contain a date or Unix timestamp, it returns null for those property. Alright, so let's test. Alright, so that's why I said this is understand. Tak faham? Cuba tengok the example. Alright. So in this example, alright, you have this, and then dia akan tambah, for example, hari ni berapa bulan? September 8, 2021. Right. From September 8, 2021, you will have this number which is called Unix timestamp. Now I remember that Raj asked me about the weather. What is Unix timestamp? What is Unix timestamp? Now I know you guys already do the weather application, right? Unix timestamp is actually a standard programming way of defining date. Why we use that? Because let's say that kita buat September, we use date and time kan. Sometimes, right, if I put, for example, now it's 9:55, right? I put 9:55, I put inside the database. But at the same time, this happened to my project in Asia though, right? This happened to my project in Asia. So we said right, alright, all the promo will be at 12 AM. So kita orang letaklah 12 AM. Alright, inside the database. And then what happened is everyone was waiting for 12 AM, and then suddenly people in Jakarta, Indonesia belah sana, right? People not the side of Indonesia, because their 12 AM is earlier, right? So people in that side of Indonesia are able to buy the ticket even earlier than us, right? Because we set it 12 AM, but we never set which 12 AM. So whenever this, so the dia punya ni jadi beginilah, right? So the promo is like this, right? These people get the free ticket first, and then the Indonesia over here, hey, why we have not get a ticket, right? So there need to be a standardized way, right, to put it, right? So GMT is one way, but another way is actually the computer time, right? This is computer time. Regardless where you put it, you will always get, right? Kalau if this one I put it in Malaysia, then I will get the 9:57. If I put it in Indonesia, then I will get it 8:57 or 10:57, depending which part. Okay. So what does this number represent? This one also asas computer. So luckily today I think 1/4 of the class we do asas computer. Unix timestamp refer to the number since, right? The Unix timestamp number since 1st of January 1970, right? It's also known as epoch. I don't know what epoch. I don't know. Epoch. I don't know what is it, right? Kenapa 1st of January 1970? Alright, today we are talking about OS. Right? We're talking a lot about OS, and now we're talking about DOS, we're talking about Windows, we're talking about Mac also. I tak cerita, right? The first Mac that I see, right, in my mom's office. I tak cerita lagi yang tu and everything, right? The reason why we use that date, because this is the date of the first version of Unix. The first version of Unix. What is Unix? Right, Unix is actually Linux lah. Right, so Linux. So it's the first day. Unix, Linux ini, the first version is is actually launched on 1st January 1970. Right, so that's why it's called Unix timestamp. So macam ni, you can just go to epoch converter. Alright, just now I have a number, I can always change it, and then you will get the time on GMT just now. So that's the story of Unix timestamp, and ni lah, right. If you remember, kalau siapa ingat when we do the weather API, so that's why I said tiba-tiba teringat lupa buat untuk Raj. That's actually the API, the weather API that we did in module 1 for batch 25. You get this time, right? You will not get the time because it depends. It depends where you are. And ni pandai lah, right? You translate it. You translate it based on your location. All right, I will give you, this is the time. This is the time in computer time. Alright, then if you're Indonesia, then you put Indonesia punya ni. If you are ini ni, if you put GMT, susah tau, because GMT you have to tambah 8 lah, you have to, okay, substring, you remember, you have to substring, you have to, okay, +8 or something. It is more difficult. But Unix timestamp, actually there's a function that will help you to translate that. Alright, so that's the story of Unix timestamp. So basically, what this API do is, if I put a date, I will get a Unix timestamp. Right? But if, right, there's what I say, I give you apa? I give you hint today because I emphasize the if, right? So tomorrow when you do your answer, you need to have if juga. Right? Siapa lupa, jadi tengok, you watch back the video before tomorrow's class. If I give you a Unix timestamp, then I will get the date, alright. So since yang ini kan, since this one is actually a weather weather forecast, right? So this one is lusa punya lah, alright. Ini tulat punya, right? The day after tomorrow, alright. Then this is the 14 timestamp, right? So this, if you put Unix timestamp, then you will get a date. If you put hello, alright, if you put hello, then it will become null now, right? So that's what it tried to explain here, right? I can pass ni, then it will check it in the natural language. If it does, it return both Unix timestamp and the natural language. If it's not does, it will return null. Okay, any question for this problem? If no questions, right? If no questions, right? CD dot go back one folder, right? CD dot go back one folder. Create a directory, right? Create a directory timestamp API, MKD, right? Create a directory and timestamp API. Go inside timestamp API, CD timestamp API, LS or DIR, right? Depending if you are on PC, DIR lah. If you are on the LS. Finally, start your project. Try to remember what is the first thing that we do today. After we are talking about Prince of Persia,
init.
NPM init, right? NPM init. So yang ini kan, if kalau you lupa, take a note, right? Ni I'm not ni. Kenapa I lupa tau? Right? So all this thing. Is actually the things. Ini I tak boleh tunjuk lah. This is my command. Ni nanti you hack or something. Sometimes I forget. Right? Sometimes I forget. So I put a note to myself. Right. So this actually this one lah yang I selalu lupa. But I cannot show it because it's my server address. Then you can hack my server address if you know. Right. Put it there. Right. Because if you remember kan last time when I always do this for you guys, right? Ini module 1 ni Diana pun ada buat ni. Alright, I always use this for you guys. So if you forget this, you will keep using it. Put it here in npm init, and then enter. Alright, after npm init,
index.js.
Belum lagi. Before that, there's one thing.
Express.
Betul. npm install express, because you install express without -g, folder by folder, then you have to do npm install express. After npm install express, then the one that Faiz cakap tadi, create a new file, call it index.js inside the same folder. So create a new file. Call it index.js inside call it index.js, put it inside the same folder.
Sir, boleh share screen boleh tak?
I tak share screen ke?
Tak, I share screen. Ada isu sir.
Alright.
Okay. I keluar error sir masa I letak npm init kan.
That one you enter. Itu I nampak tu. Tak habis lagi. Enter.
So I kena type balik. I enter.
No.
Oh.
Enter. Right. After you finish yes, tadi kan, after you yes, then after you see the word yes, then only you do npm install. Tadi you tak buat enter sampai habis. npm install express.
So this one consider okay kan sir? Yang I tak type yes, dia automatic dia declare. Okay sir, thank you.
Okay, then bolehlah buat. Right, then you start. You actually kan, when you do API kan, you always do the hello world first, right? Because hello world means kan I always do the hello world first, because hello world means okay, I already configured my server correctly. Right? Once I configured my server correctly, then only I tried the rest. Right? Then only I tried the rest. All right, so you will see I keep doing it. Why he do a hello world again? Why he do a hello world again? I do hello world again because I want to check. All right, did I configure everything correctly or not? All right, once I configure everything correctly, then no need to right? Just I can continue with the rest. So where is the hello world code? The hello world code is this one. But this one no need to hafal. This one no need to hafal. Alright. Whenever you need it, macam I lah. Right? Whenever I need it, I copy paste. It's not module 1 anymore. Right? This is not module 1. Module 1 I ask you to hafal and everything. This is module module 2 is right. Try to look for your previous reference, and then the problem solving part will come after this, right? But I think we just do this right away like this. Var port equals to process.env.port or 3000. Right. I think I do it like this right away, right? Because I know that this problem happened before, tapi I tak betulkan slide, right? And now just now so I have to remember back after 4 months. Then I set it right away like this, right? So I think it's going to be clear, all right? So once I do node mon, right, index.js, okay, and then okay, it will run on page. This means if it's on, right, if it's on Heroku, run whatever port that Heroku run. Right? That's what it means. If not, or then this one is your module 1, or run it on port 3000. So this one is not on Heroku, then it will run on port 3000. Okay, last thing that I need from you before I can eat my chicken dinner is the route. All right, what is the route that we need for this project? Once we have the route, that's it. Right, we will do the rest tomorrow.
API dia punya timestamp lah.
Man, how? Timestamp tapi dia ada parameter ke apa benda ke, get post ke benda. How apa, ada apa? Double dot ke, tak ada double dot?
Ada double dot.
Ada double dot. How? Apps dot
Get lepas tu slash double dot.
Double dot, correct let me see we do exactly as the example. Is it dash slash double dot? Kita tengok example ni correct lah, right? Slash double dot timestamp. Alright, so function, alright, request, rest, alright, I can put. So one more thing, alright, this thing is called a JSON. Alright, this thing is called a JSON. Okay, so I can do like this as well. Rest.json up Unix. Alright, there's not I put to do tomorrow. Alright, and then I put here natural double quote to do tomorrow. Right, so once I do this is almost as cantik as it's almost as nice as this, right? Yeah, it's almost as nice as this. So localhost double dot 300.123.456789. Right, it's almost only representation wise, but that's what we need tomorrow. Right? Tomorrow, whenever we send it, we need to send it as a JSON format. Faiz je kisah kat saya sebab saya tak dinner.
Masak chicken apa?
Masak siap-siap dah. Hari ni masak lemak je. Potong senang.
Sedap.
Betul lah.
Tengok sabar.
Betul lah. Okay, so if everything is okay, then we will see. I will see tomorrow, and then if kalau siapa yang masih ada mood boleh cuba lah ya. Kalau siapa pun ada mood boleh cuba lagi.
Cikgu.
Yes.
I punya local host tak boleh buka.
Tak boleh buka. Okay, I should say if somebody need help can stay as well.
Okay, just share screen sir. Sorry
No problem.
Okay, kita buat benda ni. Macam ni je.
Dia dapat dah notmon. Dia nama ni maksudnya tak buat notmon kot. Cuba tengok dekat CMD.
Oh.
Kan? Notmon index.js.
Oh, I tak call ni tadi. Thank you sir. I try lagi sekali ya. Okay, cantik.
Alright.
Thank you sir.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, tak ada apa. I kick you guys out. I kick you guys out. No, I kick you guys out. Stop recording. But if anything, you can just